Hi, this is Tom Sedlak, General Manager and owner of HandyQuick. HandyQuick Minnesota LLC has been providing handyman, contractor related services for residential and commercial in the Twin Cities for many years. HandyQuick is a network of very talented, licensed, bonded, and insured vendors that serve the entire 7-county metro area in the St. Paul, Minneapolis, and Twin Cities area, and have been providing quality services to a large assortment of individual owners as well as homes that are rental properties that are currently under management of a property management company. Today's topic is going to be how do you hire and vet contractors? It's kind of a sticky question. A lot of people, the first thing they think about when they're hiring a contractor is, I'll just go to Angie's List or I'll just go to the Better Business Bureau and I'll see what they've got, look at their ratings, and then click on the send button and get someone engaged to do some work. Unfortunately, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Certainly having good reviews and good customer service goes a long way in making sure that a contractor is going to be doing the right things and making the right repairs in your home. However, it goes a little deeper than that. There are certainly lots of handymen, for instance, that may not have the proper credentials, may not have the licenses required in the state of Minnesota in order to properly do work. And there's an easy way to find that out. You can actually go to the Department of Labor and Industry, DLI, for the state of Minnesota, and you can actually look up that contractor and you can determine whether they're licensed or not and whether they're registered. Minnesota recently instituted a registration process for all contractors regardless as to whether there's a license requirement or not. And every single contractor should show up on that website and should have at least a registration form. For those that are doing the single trades, we call them the one-trade wonders. If they're just doing painting or they're just doing sheetrocking, typically if they remain in the confines of that single specialty trade, there's not a requirement for them to have a license. But again, they still have to be registered. Once they start doing multiple specialty skills, then there's a requirement to have a contractor's license, whether it's a residential remodeling contractor's license or whether it's a residential building contractor's license or a variety of all the other types of licenses available through the Department of Labor and Industry. So certainly that's the first place I would go if I were looking to vet a contractor, is to make sure that they have the appropriate credentials, and then also be careful that even if they are registered, make sure that they don't wander outside of their single specialty trade and start doing light electrical work, replacing GFIs, for instance, or painting, as well as doing drywall repair or whatnot, because that's where the licensing is a requirement and is important. Why is it important that a contractor has a license? Well, one is to be on the up and up with the Department of Labor and Industry, but two, it also says something about the contractor. It says they're willing to do the continuing education, they're willing to meet the initial requirements and the exam that's required to get a contractor's license, and they're also willing to go above and beyond and hold and continue to maintain the credentials that are so important when someone is working on what's probably your most valuable asset. So it's very important in that regard that you make sure that the individual has their license. And in fact, it should be a point of pride from that individual contractor to have a license, because that is a differentiator from the handymen that are out there that don't. When it comes to vetting, you also want to make sure that you have an understanding or a relationship with your contractor. In some cases, contractors, if they have employees, they're required to also have an EIN number. They're required to be registered as an EIN. And if you're going to be paying a contractor and you've got a rental property, in many cases landlords are subject to actually providing 1099 miscellaneous forms to those contractors for any payments that exceed $600 in any one calendar year. So that's an actual requirement. I know a lot of landlords don't think of that, but they are required to do that and to give it to the contractor. And the only way, of course, to find out if the contractor is registered with the IRS is to get a W-9 from them before they start work. Workman's comp, there's another kind of insurance. I mentioned license, bonding, and insurance. Workman's comp and general liability insurance are the two big pieces of insurance that contractors will need, and both of them can come back and haunt you. If a contractor does shoddy work, or if a contractor causes consequential damages in the home, leaving a water spigot on or something like that causes thousands of dollars worth of damage, sometimes the only way to get that money out of them is to submit a claim against that contractor or that contractor's insurance company. And so it's actually important to also get a copy of that Accord cert from the contractor so that you know that they are actually a licensed and insured contractor, and then you have some recourse if something goes wrong. The same thing with workman's comp. If a employee of the contractor gets injured on site and there's no workman's comp, you could be liable. Even as a homeowner, you could be liable for paying workman's comp because someone was injured on your property, or it could go to your homeowner's insurance. If you're an HOA manager and managing an association, a workman's comp claim could come and hit the association and be a charge against that association. So again, make sure that you've got the copy of the workman's comp certification from the contractor. Make sure it's current, and then you should be in good shape. And I think lastly, the most important thing I'll talk about today is having a good contract. There is certain language that is really a necessity in contracts that will make sure that you're getting the best possible service. Have stipulated warranties. Make sure that you're getting an adequate warranty, or it's adequate in your mind. There are statutory warranties that are applied, and there are rights to cure per Minnesota state statute only for residential properties, but you want to make sure that you have the language and you've clearly defined how a warranty issue is going to be resolved, how a defective installation issue is going to be resolved, and it also is helpful to stipulate timeframes for the resolution of those items, because later on, if the contractor just doesn't come back to your property to fix anything, you can at least say that there was a stipulated agreement as to the reasonableness of when a defect or punch list item was going to be repaired. So all good things to know, all good things to do. Of course, at HandyQuick, we're a network of vendors, and we do all these things every day with every vendor that comes across our porch and comes in to be part of our network. We've got excellent contracts, we have excellent warranty service agreements, and we strive to overserve our individual clients to make sure that they get everything that they deserve. If you have any questions or any maintenance, home improvement, repair, or any other projects in your home, feel free to reach out to HandyQuick. We'd be happy to help you. Thank you so much.